Thank you very much. Firstly, I support what Liam has said in relation to priorities 8 and 9. Secondly, I will team up with the Mayor and others to establish a community advice fund for local groups and civil society institutions to deliver advice surgeries. I'm flexible about the way we put that objective into practice, but I'm committed to the principle. And I'll tell you why. I'm passionate about access to justice, equality before the law and the rule of law, not just for the many, but not just for the few, but for the many. And again, this is about prevention, early intervention, and addressing the underlying causes of crime. It'll build trust and confidence with young people at risk of criminal exploitation and criminality, and with their families. And it'll make sure that we help to reduce the financial hardship that can, for some, lead to criminal exploitation or make crime appear to be an attractive and viable option, with all of the serious and adverse consequences that follow from that. Those providing the advice must have the training, skills and knowledge, because I know the law relating to benefits entitlement can be complex, and those in need of advice are often in the most desperate of circumstances. But let's be clear, this should not be necessary, but it is much needed. It shouldn't be necessary because in 1949, the then Labour government set up a legal aid scheme. That was to be one of the pillars of the welfare state. We had a network of neighbourhood officers, law centres, advice centres around Birmingham. Most of them have all gone. In 2012, the then government abolished legal aid for welfare benefits advice. To abolish legal aid for the poorest and most vulnerable in society was, with all due respect, a particularly shameful act. Public bodies and private organisations regularly make unlawful decisions, and that can lead to serious injustice and hardship. It can have catastrophic and devastating consequences for the people affected. It can mean the difference between having enough money to feed your family or going hungry, between being able to heat your home and living in the cold and damp, the difference between being able to pay your rent or being evicted from your home and becoming homeless. Abolishing legal aid takes away the ability of people to challenge and hold to account those who make big decisions that affect their lives. And as a legal aid solicitor who's worked in the CMB, in a law centre and in a legal aid law firm, I'm well aware of the importance of advice and representation to ensure that people secure what they're legally entitled to. Because Parliament can pass all sorts of laws, providing people with all sorts of legal rights, but without the ability to access legal advice and representation, and the ability to enforce those legal rights, they're rendered utterly meaningless. And that undermines access to justice, equality before the law and the rule of law. That in turn undermines our rights and freedoms, and that in turn undermines our democracy. It's about justice, safety and security. And I've always been clear, my top priority will always be justice, safety and security for all of the people, communities and regions of the West Midlands.